What's up, guys? I'm the Junkie Gamer. I am back for a different kind of video. Today's video is going to be a video podcast. We're going to talk about the Switch, and I get a special guest with me, he's a good old friend of mine, Noi. Welcome to the podcast, I guess.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Good to have you. So, it's been about a week now, and we saw, of course, I know I did. Did you watch the direct?
I saw bits and pieces of it. Be perfectly honest with you, it kind of underwhelming. To be precise, it's I knew what games were coming, and wasn't that really excited. But I knew how powerful it was going to be, so I kind of expected some of the games to be coming in. But yeah, kind of underwhelmed by it.
It kind of wasn't saying, yeah, I kind of agree. They did avoid a lot of stuff during that direct, avoiding like certain aspects of the Switch as well. It is a powerful machine, like you said. It's like almost powerful, maybe as like the current like the Portal or the Steam Deck possibility.
Yeah, I was hearing about the same power as the PlayStation 4 Pro, which is still a pretty powerful machine. I mean, they're still releasing games for PS4, so pretty happy about that, especially to fit in your hands. That is pretty powerful, and looks like the batteries are going to pay a price for it. So we'll see.
Yeah, they got like 2 to 3 hours in handheld mode. They said.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, and I guess. Yeah, I don't really play games that long, so that works out for me. But if you're on a car ride or if you are in an airplane, that might be a little different.
Yeah, it's also a 1080p as well compared to 720p on the previous gen of the Switch, as well. So it is a little better graphical.
Right, but then you got the LED panel instead of the OLED, which you know 2-year refresh is going to come down the line, and they're going to release the OLED version, and everybody's going to go towards that, and that's when I would probably buy one. So
See, for me, I doesn't really bother the fact of me. I never play my Switch handheld mode. I'm always on dock when I do my play my Switch. I'm always playing on like a monitor or a TV, so I don't really care about the lifespan. That's me personally.
no, I hear you, and a lot of people will agree with you. But there are sections
Yeah.
of people who do take it with them, especially where we live. We live in New England. People are going to be on the subway or something like that, and you want something that's going to last you for a very long time. So maybe it's a software update that'll help. Maybe I don't know, carry a battery pack with you, but it starts to become I don't know. I guess it starts to become more of why do I need this when I already have a Steam Deck? I guess that would last me about 4 hours, so twice as much. And I don't know. That's I guess that's where it's going to come down to. Like, is it worth it to get a Switch 2 when you already have a Steam Deck? Like myself, I already have a Steam Deck, and I can emulate games, which I don't condone emulation, but I mean, so
We can get there.
right. So I think that's the big question: is do you want to buy something that you kind of already have? I guess is the best question about it.
Well, I don't have a Steam Deck. I don't have a portable. I have a Switch One. I still play it today, and I do want the more powerful one. I like it. I like the specs about it. Like the new dock, has a fan in it now. The 256 GB storage. That's a little bit better than the 32 and 64 gig current gen, but it's still too little compared to some of the games that they're saying is going to come on the Switch. And how you can only use micro SD cards as well now.
Yeah, that's going to worry me a little bit because 256 seems like a lot, but then again, when you download games on a PC or games on the Xbox, Warzone comes to mind. That's 100 gigs. So I know Nintendo has a special way of making Mario games very, very small, but that's a big Mario game. Like that Mario Kart looks like a Forza Horizon, where you have to get to the races, and I don't think 256 is going to be enough with the new gen of games coming through, especially like Cyberpunk or Final Fantasy. Those games are big on PC and on the PlayStation.
Yeah. Cyberpunk, to me, speaking of Cyberpunk now, that's the one game I want to talk about later on. We'll get to that because that's a questionable game. I'm hearing, I'm talking about people, but back to the memory. How the SD cards now, how you can only use the micro express SD cards, the more faster readable light ones. Those are like SSDs now. They're very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an express card. I've never had an express card, so I don't even know what they're going for right now. Probably 40, $50. So that's a game onto itself. But it's supposed to be faster loading times, which that's what cartridges are supposed to be. So I'm not sure why there is even a loading time when it comes to cartridges. But I get that there is a lot more information going through. So again, I'm not sure because it's all speculatory right now until we actually get our hands on it.
Yeah, well, I saw the prices. So the 256 gigabyte is gonna be about $60, and then I saw 1 terabyte for 200. So
I've never had a terabyte card in my life, so really, I mean, lots of 1 terabyte SSDs, but I never owned an SD card.
yeah, that's. Did I lose you, Noe? Technical difficulties, guys. We might have lost my co-host. Give me 1 second. So while we try to figure this out, guys, we'll be right back. Wait, so where do we love? We're back. We're back. Where do we leave off? What was the question?
We left off on Final Fantasy VII on the Switch Deuce.
Yeah. Yes. I never played Final Fantasy VII, so this might be my first time to get to play it.
It is a different game. I have the remake and I have Rebirth. I actually haven't played Rebirth yet, but I hear it's actually a lot better. It's a completely different game. It's the same storyline, but they kind of give more background to the characters. So why Avalanche does what they do, and each character actually has a chance to shine, which is fantastic. So yeah, it's definitely worth getting if you haven't gotten it already.
Nope, I have not.
I've got 2 different copies. I got the PC version, which I'm part of the PC master race, yes. And I've also got the PS5 version, which my son has already taken over, so I can't play that anymore.
So, but you just got the PC version at least.
Oh yeah. Everything I play now is on the PC.
So you don't really need a Switch at this point.
No, but see, here's the thing. Do you need one? No. Do I want one? Absolutely. I'm every guy. It's basically I am very easy to shop for. A drone, a Switch, and a hibachi table. That's it. That's all we want. Simple, girls.
Well, I definitely want to Switch because I'm excited, and I want to play, like I said, Cyberpunk. Even the new Donkey Kong seems unique.
I actually didn't see that, and for some reason I haven't watched it on YouTube either. Never been a fan of the Donkey Kong games. Not even like the what's the big one?
Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, never got into that. Never got into the Bongo Adventure game.
Oh god.
Yeah. And like I said, I have the green Donkey Kong N64, and yet I don't have the yellow banana game. So never actually got to play any of the Donkey Kong games except for the original. Obviously, everybody's played that.
Of course. Let's see what else is coming out. Of course, the upgrades of Zelda, both Zeldas.
Never played either one of those either.
Wow. Never.
Yeah. Yep.
Jesus. Okay. What's coming out? I'm trying to think. Didn't it show that many?
Yeah, they showed a few games, but they were a lot of them were remakes that were already coming out for the Switch One. So here's the thing, I guess. Are you willing to buy the games again, or do you? Is it $15 or something like that for the enhanced version?
I think 10, but I think they said the Legend of Zelda one would be free.
Okay. Well, yeah, the Zelda is a launch title, so I think like if you had that, it's a Wii U title actually. The Breath of the Wild is a Wii U title. It's been out for quite some time. So yeah, I can see why that would be. I just wish they would give you. I don't know, like you know how PlayStation 4 games, and when you switch to PS5, you get like a free upgrade.
Some of them, yeah. Some of them did.
I think that should have been a thing. That would probably you'd hear less belly aching, I guess, from the quote unquote fans. No one's worse. No fans are the worst fans than fans. So I think we all know this, as you and I are wrestling fans and comic book fans. No fans are worse than actual fans.
Yes, and I know people are getting uproar with the tech demo game.
The tutorial.
Yeah, it's like $10.
That is kind of funny. That is kind of funny that they would do that. I mean, the Wii had Wii Sports, and Wii Sports actually turned out to be one of the best games on the Wii.
Oh yeah,
and it was a free game.
Yeah,
free game. So yeah, I don't even know what the excuse was. I think it was like because they put so much into the Switch, but it should have just been a demo, and I think they dropped the ball on that. I will agree with the fans on that one. I think they dropped the ball by charging for that.
Yeah, who's gonna buy that? Jesus, for $10. I know $10 is $10, but come on.
Yeah. Okay, $10, but give us a $10 Nintendo credit. That's just me. That's just my train of thought. Like Ocean State Job Lock. You spend $30, you get a $30 Ocean State Job Lock credit.
There you go. Yeah.
Either way, we all win. Everybody wins.
True. What else is coming out on the Switch? I can't.
There's unpopular opinion, but there is a lot of waifu bait games, and I'm just not a fan of those. I don't know. It's definitely for a niche market, and Nintendo is guilty of that because I guess most Nintendo Switch fans are waifus. So, sure, I'm not gonna judge, but a lot of it is just not my thing. Persona's good though. I do like Persona.
Wasn't Tamagotchi Live announced too?
Yeah. But surprisingly, no Pokemon game, which is very odd. For Pokemon to be left out of the Nintendo lineup. That is a very... Oh, no, they had A to Z, I guess?
Yeah.
But there's a Switch and a Switch 2 version, so I don't really count that, because I think it's just another enhanced game.
That's half the Switch library is going to probably be enhanced games.
Yeah, which is why a lot of people are predicting that the Switch 2 isn't going to be as impactful as the Switch 1, much like the Wii U was not as impactful as the Wii, because the Wii U was just rehashed Wii games, but then again, the Switch was rehashed Wii U games. So most of the best games on the Switch was just rehashed Wii U games, like Bowser's Fury, and again, Breath of the Wild was a Wii U game.
Yeah. Like I was also reading that Nintendo's not good at making sequel consoles. Like the Wii to the Wii U, Switch, now Switch 2. The only one that did good was original Nintendo to Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo is probably the only good, I guess, sequel for now that they had.
So the every other console rumor. So we have the Nintendo, fantastic. Super Nintendo, fantastic. And then the N64, which was...
I liked it.
Wait, no, in between that was the Virtual Boy. Which was amazing. It's not a handheld. It wasn't a handheld. It was actually considered a major console. So yeah, I guess. Then the N64. The GameCube did okay. but no DVD, no DVD compatibility kind of killed that, I think.
Unless you're in Japan.
Right, unless you were in Japan or you bought the Panasonic version,
Yeah, that's
which was
yep.
$500, I believe.
Yep.
Wow, 500 back then was that's an $800 system right there.
Yeah. Then of course then in the Wii U,
Fantastic. Wii U, not so much.
Switch, phenomenal, and then
Yep.
who knows about the Switch 2?
I'm excited about it. I think it'll be okay because I think they know their market, and quite honestly, they're chasing the Steam Deck right now. But it's because the Switch did so well that we have the Steam Deck, that we have the Asus ROG, and we're having a rumored Xbox handheld.
I saw that. I'm like,
Yeah. So I think the Switch is going to do okay, especially with, I guess, first-party games are guaranteed fantastic games. So I think we'll be all right. My only worry is that price, $450 for a non-OLED version and less playtime. At least it's backwards compatible. I will say that is pretty cool.
Now with everything though, there's a few games I was reading that's not compatible.
Somewhat.
But those games are not.
I think if it's first party, you're safe.
Yeah.
I think if it's like an obscure game, like I love Dragon's Dogma on the Switch, I don't think that's going to be backwards compatible because not enough people played it.
That was not on the list.
Switch.
The only one I mean was in the list was Labo.
Oof. That's a miss for Switch. I don't know if you guys ever had Lab Creations or Labo or whatever it's called, but if you got it wet, that was it. That was game over. And you were paying $80 for cardboard. So essentially, you're paying for game wrapping, and you got the game, and you played it for all of maybe 15 minutes for cool factor, and then that was the end of it. So that was a miss. I think they could have done a lot more with that.
That was their VR.
Yeah, it was. They had a VR. Yeah, you're right.
Which is crazy. Oh god, I remember playing that at the Nintendo in New York.
I actually bought that. I bought the VR Labo, and I destroyed it within about 10 minutes.
Well, you had to build it, before you play, you had to build everything and pull the strings, and it's like,
yeah, I destroyed it in 10 minutes, and that's why I forgot I actually owned a Labo VR helmet.
Oh, not anymore.
No, I have the game. I just don't have the VR helmet anymore. I think you can find plans for it online to, make your own helmet. But
you can.
I'm too lazy.
Why would you want to do that?
No, why would I do that with the internet that I have? I'd rather get online and go into a forum and complain about my Labo only lasting about 10 minutes.
But yeah. Besides that, there are a lot of games, but they're looking into those, so most likely they'll be fixed.
I think the miss was peripherals, or the lack thereof. I mean, they had the camera, and that was about it, I think.
Well, the Pro Controller 2.
Yeah, right. But again, it's already a rehashed version of
the
Pro 1, which... Yeah, so it's got a C button. Yay, you can chat now. But
for the first year, then you got to pay for it.
Yes, this is true. No, you got till March. It's not even the first year. It's until March. I guess that is a year, I suppose. But that's cool. I do like that you can chat on it. But even in the tech demo, it looked very buggy, very laggy. I'm not sure if you noticed that or not, but it looked pretty laggy on it. Again, tech demo. But you would think they would, edit that out or something.
Yeah, what gets me, speaking of the camera now, that you can be in the same room playing Mario Kart, and the camera picks up each person individually and it'll show them on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if you can just get a standard Type-C
You can.
cable.
They said that, yes.
Webcam. Can you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So you don't have to get that Nintendo brand camera. You can use the one I have or one probably you have.
Okay, so that's actually pretty good. And the fact that you can charge it from the top now, as opposed to having some weird dongle underneath.
Yeah,
That is actually a pretty good idea.
yeah, that's a good improvement.
I'm just not looking forward to walking through the store and there's like a slew of plastic golf clubs and tennis clubs again. Oh, it's just so bad. Like,
Don't remind me.
it's just so bad. Like, who does the steering wheel? Yes, I get. I do like the steering wheel, but
I hate that.
I don't need a plastic golf club to play golf. I don't need a plastic tennis racket to play tennis. I got a pretty decent imagination. I can pretend my Joy-Con is a tennis racket. So,
And that was the Wii's fault.
yes, I know it's marketed towards kids, and I'm a 43-year-old man, but I get to vent. I'm a customer too.
Well, like I said, we gotta blame the Wii for that. 'Cause the Wii did that with the golf clubs, tennis rackets, bowling balls, the Zelda shield and sword. And it just goes on and on.
I forgot about the shield and sword, but it was cute back then because it was for the Wii, you know. But God, well, see, here's the problem. When I worked for a video game store that took trade-ins, we didn't take guitars. We didn't take skateboards. Remember the Tony Hawk skateboard?
Yep.
We didn't take any of those. But now, retro. Now those guitars are going for like $80 online, sometimes even $100. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Guitar Hero on the Switch. That would be actually a cool game if they release Guitar Hero for the Switch.
I know they're making. I think they are making a new Guitar Hero.
They are bringing it back, from what I heard. Yeah, because aren't they selling guitars again?
Yes.
If I remember correctly?
Yeah, because
Yes.
of Fortnite. Guitar Hero kind of being in Fortnite, you know.
Is it?
Yeah.
Here's another thing. I've never played Fortnite. Ha!
You're not missing nothing.
No, I've never played Fortnite. I've never played PUBG. I have played Rocket League. I was actually pretty good at Rocket League.
They're probably putting that over.
Yeah, that's the one thing I do wish, and I know they will improve on is the processing power, obviously, because I tried to play Fall Guys on the Switch and it was just unplayable. You could play it, but it wasn't worth it. So if you were trying to play against other people online and it's cross-platform and you're playing with the Switch, then you were probably the first person to die.
Oh, really? I tried that. I had no issues.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it was just so buggy that I already knew I was going to die when there was a ball coming at me and I just couldn't get out of the way. I'm just, yeah, whatever.
The fun.
So that went away real quick.
It was a fun game 'cause I have it on my Xbox as well. I have it on my PC. Yeah, my Steam, my Switch.
Yeah, that's the game I think I have on every system.
Well, because it's free, you know.
It wasn't. The thing is, it wasn't free until they're like, all right, we could make more money by just giving it away for free. Which, if other video game companies are out there, hey, maybe you should give games away for free.
That'd be nice. You know,
Like a tech demo of your new system.
no pun intended. Come on, Nintendo.
I'm pretty sure they'll release like a system with the download or something like that. Like, you know, the holiday bundle. Like, yo, you get a Switch and a game for free. Like, oh, you get a tech demo for free.
I don't think so. I think they'll probably put Mario Kart in there because since 2017, it's always been Mario Kart bundled in the holiday bundle.
No. I got the Mario Odyssey. You forget that they gave you the choice of 3 games. One of 3 games. It was Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart, and there was another game I forget about.
So that was 2019.
No, I think it was after that. I think it was 2020.
So right time the pandemic.
Yep. And that's when the Switch was red hot.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, the Switch was hot during the Trump administration, and guess who's back in power? So hey, who knows? Maybe the Switch will be hot again. Maybe it breaks the streak.
Let's hope.
Again, Not a political podcast, by the way.
No, it is not. It just ties in what we're talking about. Unfortunately.
It is the economy we live in.
Yes, it is, which is quite crazy right now. And hopefully things change soon and we get answers quickly. That way we can get the pre-orders up, get the Switches, try to get the accessories, because they said they need more Switches than games and accessories.
Well, I think Nintendo said that they were going to be ready this time. So I think they actually got a pretty decent amount of Switches ready to go. It's just, again, that whole tariff thing. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But who knows? Holiday season. We're already thinking about it. I know it's still winter in most places, but
Well, it feels
you
like
gotta
winter.
think ahead. Yeah, I mean, look outside in New England right now. But you gotta think of the holiday season. The summer travel season is when you're gonna want those in people's hands. So hopefully that all works out by then. And I don't know, maybe drop the price of the original Switch and see how that works out for you. At this point, Nintendo's probably operating at a win right now. So even if they drop the prices of the Switches, I think they're still gonna make profit off of it.
Most definitely, like maybe drop the OLED down to like what, 300, and with the regular Switch down to like what, like 150.
Yeah, I think a $50 drop would be justifiable because it's still a good system. It still sells very well. I think it's right there after the PS2 now. I think it's caught up just about. And then all of a sudden, Sony decided that by the way, we sold 32 million more PS2s. We just forgot to talk about. So it's I think the Switch is pretty close to the PS2 at this point, though.
Because PS2 I think is the highest grossing system of all time.
Right, because of the DVD compatibility.
Yes, 'cause I remember back in the day, I used to work at a retail place, and that was the hottest thing going. Like this kind of thing that was had to keep them in stock.
Yeah, I mean, the PS2, because it played DVDs, you had the best of both worlds. You had a fantastic video game system, but you also had a DVD player, which, if you looked at the PS2 at the time, I think it was 200, I want to say 200, 250 in that area. And a high-end DVD player was $400 to $500. So you got a game system and you got a DVD player. Same thing with the PS3. You had a Blu-ray player that is still a fantastic Blu-ray player to this day. If all you watched was 1080p, it just got an update like last month, so it's still a fantastic Blu-ray player. But you also had a game system at the same time, whereas a high-end Blu-ray player at the time when it came out was roughly around almost $1,000 for a good Blu-ray player. So I see where Sony was going with that, and then they dropped the ball with the PS4. So that's just my opinion.
Fair enough, Noy. Fair enough. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm pretty upset.
Alrighty. Where can my audience find you?
I am a host, writer, producer, director, and guest, I suppose, on my own podcast called the Buddhist AF Podcast, which is where my mug is from, where I generally start out about talking about myself and my mental health issues because I had spots in my brain and I am a candidate for early dementia. But I ran out of stories to talk about myself, and so I started speaking about other things, and then it slowly went off the rails from there. Tim was a guest on it at one point.
Yes, I was.
I pretend Tim died. I mourned you for like 2 whole minutes.
And I'm back.
Yeah, weird. Kayfabe, Tim. Jeez.
That's another podcast. That's a whole other podcast altogether.
No, we definitely got to do that again. Super fun, and actually pretty decent ratings, to be honest with you. So definitely got to do it again.
Yes, we do. Well, Noy, it's glad to have you here. And thank you for doing this.
Yeah, it was fun. I got to vent, which is great. I don't get to do that enough because I am a husband and a father, and no one listens to me. So, thank you for giving me a platform to do that. And again, check out my podcast, Buddhist AF Podcast.
All right.
That's it. That's all I got.
That's all I got too. All right, guys. Till next time, keep on gaming. I'm Junk Game out. Peace.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with my internet right now. But yeah. Hey, it's that Magenta company.
Lovely. But yeah, so the specs seem all great with the Switch. Like we said before, in comparison to the current systems. So now some of the games now, like they showed off, of course. You see Mario Kart 8, Donkey Kong, Final Fantasy, Metroid Prime 4, finally, after all these years. But the one that intrigued me, like you said, is Cyberpunk. Because this was very questionable and how the data is. It's intriguing to me that they bit the whole game on the cartridge. 64 gigs of data is on that card. It's not like a code.
Yeah, that is a pretty big step. I mean, 40 frames is actually not bad per second too for such a big game, including the DLC, which is fantastic. If you guys have never played Cyberpunk before, it is a great game. It's probably up there with one of my favorite games to play. So the fact that I can carry it around in a tiny little cartridge is a fantastic achievement on Nintendo's part.
It is. But what gets me is games like that, and it's games like, what game was it? That's like a code you gotta pop in the Switch and then install it to the Switch, in which is less gigabytes. It's just crazy.
Yeah, so there's two versions of games. There's solid games where they're actually in the cartridge, and then there's the key games where it's kind of more like the PC style, where the CD or the key itself lets you play the game. So all those people were talking about how like, oh, physical games are where it's at, and a lot of the newer stuff now, your CD is just a license so that you can play the game, and that's how I think they're going to get over that hurdle of big downloads. That's probably the best way to do it, and I understand why they're doing it because unlike CDs, you can't have multiple cartridges. So like, oh, please enter cartridge 1, and then after you play a certain point, please enter cartridge 2. So that's a good compromise, I suppose.
It reminds me now, but since you mentioned that switching discs, it reminds me back of the 64 days of big games. When Resident Evil 2 came on the 64, they fit 2 discs on the cartridge.
Yep. Yeah, but I don't. Did that need the RAM upgrade or no?
Yeah, enhance it. Yeah, I believe it did. Yeah.
Did it? Okay. I still have mine. I don't know where it is. I have the Donkey Kong Green version, by the way, which is pretty sought after.
Nice, but yeah, since you said switching discs, like that came to mind. Like Nintendo's good at cramming big games under cartridges.
Yep. Yeah, and then that's we're probably going to get into this eventually, but prices.
Yeah, that was the next one I was going to bring into.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember the Nintendo 64 when it first came out, Mario 64 was, I think, $70.
Yes.
And granted, for inflation and all that, it's about $115 today.
Yeah.
So what I understand is why people are complaining about games being $80 when you're getting a lot more now. Because like I said, Mario Kart is $80, yes, but you're getting a full-fledged game. You're not getting a thanks for the money and we'll get you some DLC later. It's going to be a full-fledged racing game. So I think it's worth it. I mean, cartridges are more expensive than CDs, so you got to take that into consideration. And it's a first-party Nintendo game. It's going to be good. so it's going to be worth the money.
Yeah, but it was back further as like the Super Nintendo, like I was seeing Earthbound when that came out. That was like $90. Doom on
yeah.
Super Nintendo, that was like $85. I think I was seeing. So throughout history, they've been more money back in the day. So when you say cartridges, it does take time and chips and everything to put them in the cartridge, ship it out. It's not compressed like a CD.
Right. And I'm glad and grateful now that there's demos because back in my day, old, yeah, back in our day, we didn't have demos. We just bought or our parents bought the games, and they were $30-$40 at the time. And if they were bad, guess what? You were stuck with a bad game unless you tricked one of your friends into trading a game or something like that. But yeah, nowadays we have demos. So if you're not willing to spend the $80, hey, get the demo, see if it's worth it. Generally, you get about a good hour out of it, and then go from there.
Exactly. Those are. I still know. Even the bad games were kind of good for a little bit.
There are some games that are so bad they actually turned out really good. So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, this now. What do you think about all this delay that's going on?
Well, the elephant in the room, huh?
Yep.
Tariffs. So Japan, I think Japan got lifted though, weren't they? I think only China got hit.
Yeah,
so,
but they're coming from Vietnam.
Right. Well, again, Vietnam also lifted, which is how China is probably going to get around these tariffs because China's not stupid. They've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
So
Pretty much.
what they're going to do is they're going to ship things through Vietnam, through Thailand, through India, and they'll get here somehow. They'll make their money because, to be honest, we buy everything that's Chinese anyway. So, yeah, it's I don't know. I think we'll be okay because Japan is back on the good side. But 450 is what they promised the customer, and if the tariffs stay, they can't give that. So I get where Japan's coming from and where Nintendo's coming from, I guess.
Well, he did just say today that there's a 90-day pause on tariffs.
Yeah, there's a 90-day pause, and then on day 89, he'll be barking again, crying wolf. I think a lot of the other countries are seeing this game that's happening, and I mean it's unfortunate because Americans spend a lot of money, but
Yeah.
it's hurting the consumer, and I'm not even getting political about this. It's hurting the consumer. Like I am a consumer, and I kind of want to switch too. Not right now though. I'm going to hold out, but
I'm gonna try to get one right away.
yeah. I figured you'd be a day one, but no, it's we're already hearing about how iPhones are going to get expensive, how the new Galaxy is going to get more expensive, and we have enough iPhones and Galaxies to last us to the end of the year, which I think. I don't think we're going to sell that many, but there's already talk about raising the prices on them, and I hope Nintendo sticks with their guns. I hope they work something out where they can find a loophole. I'm pretty sure they can. I mean, we have Nintendo of America, so they can ship a couple containers worth of stuff to Nintendo of America. Technically becomes American products, and then we can still get our Switch 2s.
Well, technically, I've been reading they're already here in the States. They came here like late February. They're somewhere in some warehouse right now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's already YouTubers who gotten their hands on tech demos, so
Yeah.
they are here. So like I said, they're just playing a game, and we're the only ones that aren't involved, unfortunately.
Well, Canada too. Canada just did with us too.
I'm wondering if you can drive to Canada and buy a Switch 2.
Who knows?
We're not that far. We're not that far. I mean, if I'm going to save $100, it might be worth it. I might get deported, but it's still worth it, I suppose.
Yeah, what terrifies me is if they're gonna raise the price, of the Switch 2, like to like 500, 600, you know.
I mean, we're let's be honest here, Tim. Both you and I know we're gonna have to deal with scalpers at one point or another.
Yeah.
And so yes, if you can get it for 450, fantastic. I think realistically, we're gonna have to look at 550, almost $600. Um, and I'm sure they'll try to entice you with like, oh, comes with an extra Joy-Con or something like that. But yeah, it's a capitalist market, and people will find a way to get the Switches, and those who don't have bots like you and I are going to have to pay the price for it.
Yes. And what I know, like what I think the president of Nintendo said, Bowser, that he said, if you can't afford a Switch 2, but go get a Switch 1 or play Switch 1, which reminded me of back when the Xbox One first came out. If you can't use internet with Xbox One, play your 360. It's like, ouch.
I mean, I still play on my 360.
I know that, but he did the same quote as Xbox.
Well, that also reminds me of Tim Cook when the iPhone X came out, and it was I think $800, and at the time $800 for an iPhone was like ridiculous. Now that's like an entry level iPhone. But people were complaining about the price, and he's like, hey, if you stop buying that latte every day, you can afford an iPhone X. And I mean, I still get a latte, and I have an iPhone 13 Pro. So, sorry, Tim, but I need my latte.
You can have your latte. I'll just drink my whatever. I don't drink.
I am drinking tea at night though, so
I got water.
By the way, this mug is made in China.
No.
To be honest with you, I think it took like maybe 2 months to get this mug made. So it's a prototype mug, by the way.
That's pretty awesome. What are you looking forward to going into this next gen?
I'm actually excited about the mouse feature. It's a feature I don't think enough people talk about, but the fact that you can use your Joy-Cons as a mouse. So you can play games like, for instance, Cyberpunk. If you're already playing Cyberpunk on a PC and you can use your Joy-Cons as a mouse, guess what? You're already used to that configuration. I hope mods are a thing.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Like PlayStation and Xbox are actually open to mods now. So if Nintendo allows you to mod, then that would be fantastic.
Yes. Also, another thing I'm looking forward to is the GameCube games coming to the Switch too.
I've never actually owned a GameCube, to be honest with you. So the only GameCube game I remember playing was Pikmin. Obviously, Animal Crossing was a thing. I think I had WrestleMania 18, but I never played it because it got stolen like 2 days after I bought it.
Damn.
Yeah, I probably could get one up because I have a Wii, so I mean I could play GameCube games, but I do have Nintendo Online, and I think did you hear anything about them raising the prices on that? Or
I did not. I had speculation, and the prices may go up because of the GameCube library.
I mean, you are getting a lot for what's it, $30 a month or $30 a year now?
No, it is $50 a year if you want the expander pack. You get like the Super Nintendo, Genesis,
yeah, 64 and the 64 mature.
Yes, that too. Yes, GoldenEye.
Nintendo After Dark. Can you imagine?
That'd be weird. Then. Wow. Back to the roots.
Right. No, Conker's Pocket.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
It was rated M, right?
Yes. Little cutesy squirrel.
They're just like, when they're just like, you know what? The N64 is done. Let's just go. Let's just have it.
That was a good game. What's so screwed up about that game, which is a phenomenal game, by the way, guys. If you didn't play it, play it. But the 64 game, the swears were not bleeped out. When they came to the Xbox, the kind of reloaded, they bleeped the swears out.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh no. I've never played it, so that's actually pretty funny. That Nintendo, good guy Nintendo would not bleep it out, and yet Xbox,
Yes.
Game like teenage gamer Xbox bleeped it out. That's kind of strange.
Yes. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming out. Like Final Fantasy.
How do you feel about the Elden Ring style games? I have tried a lot of times, and I just can't get into it.
I like Lord of the Rings, but yeah, I'm the same way. I tried playing Outer Rain on my Xbox, and yeah, I just couldn't do it. You know.
I just don't like the fact that I die so much because I'm the hero, and the hero isn't supposed to be dying all the time. But I get it if you're into that.
I just didn't like how
If you're
for me the text was too small when I tried to read the text.
Should buy a bigger TV.
I have 55 inch.
Buy a bigger one.
Wow.
It's like hey, I'm supposed to be wearing glasses. As you can see, I'm not wearing glasses. Because I asked my doctor, hey, how much are a pair of glasses? And he said anywhere from $600 to $800. So I said, how much is a 75-inch TV? Anywhere from $600 to $800. So I got myself a bigger TV, and now I don't have to wear glasses.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
There was a problem, and I solved it.
This is very true, I guess. Yeah. But I just couldn't get into it. I'm gonna try to again. But it's also like the Final Fantasy coming to the Switch, which is kind of odd, I think.
Yep. Well, Final Fantasy was a Nintendo exclusive first, so you got to think about it that way. Final Fantasy VII was supposed to be on the N64 with the hard drive, or the disc drive, or whatever it was called. But they weren't willing to give Squaresoft at the time. They weren't willing to give them full control, and so Squaresoft moved to PlayStation instead, and had a huge hit, and Nintendo was just left wanting. So I think Final Fantasy's come home with Final Fantasy VII coming to the Switch too. I already have 1 through 6 for the regular Switch. Not the regular Switch. For the PSP, actually.
No, but they come for the Switch too. It came out as well.
So I'm looking forward to having the whole collection. And I think I have... Yeah, I do. I just never played it, but I have 8 remastered on the Switch as well.
Okay, you have quite the collection of Final Fantasies.
What can I say? I like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with that, Nothing wrong with that.
All right, here's a question for you. Team Tifa, Team Aerith, go.
What was that?
Are you Team Tifa or Team Aerith?